everyone. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. I'm Richard Carlton here at fmtrain.tv, where every day, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, we are doing FileMaker training on various FileMaker topics. So, Margaret, if you go to fmtrain.tv, who we are the creators of, well, a lot of shenanigans and mayhem within the FileMaker community, but we post everything here on our upcoming schedule here at fmtraining.tv. All this data that you see below here, these 6 records here that you see on screen, we're talking about various interesting topics. And so today is some chart automation with Jonathan. We're going to get to that in a couple minutes here. But Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday next week, Nick Hunter will be starting auto enter calculations versus lookup, which is so funny because one of my engineers posted a question about this. Hey, should we use a calculation auto enter? And it was so funny. And that was this morning, I think. And so I'm going to send a note to our engineers to feel free to watch 3 days of training to make yourselves more awesome than you already are. So for those of you could tell, I'm in our Dallas office here in Texas. So lastly, if you go to the fmtrain.tv website, as a reminder, if you want to support the channel so we can pay everyone to be here, well, paying the speakers to be, I'm not paying you to be here, but paying the speakers to be here. Purchase one of our training bundles, basic bundle plus bundle. It's kind of like the Disney Plus bundle. Comes with Avengers and a bunch of Marvel stuff. It's really awesome. And then you got FM Training Complete bundle, which contains everything, almost everything, but pretty much everything that I'm willing to give to people who don't work for me, right? We should have I was suggested that we have the Galactic Overlord bundle that we make available for people that whole level above. That came up in a meeting this morning, and I thought the Galactic Overlord training bundle would be amazing. So with that being said, today is an AI conversation with Jay. Let me say that Claris is very interested in AI, and Claris is trying to figure out how to make that attainable for what I've been hitting them with is attainable for basic and intermediate developers, which is a vast majority of the population. There are a handful of people, a very small minority that are like FileMaker ninjas. Jonathan here is one of them, Garrett, Calvin, Todd Guys, Wim DeCourt, Josh Armand, you know the people who are like the super ninja type people. They can do AI without a lot of hand-holding. They figure out how to code it, get it. Nick Hunter's another one, right? And so what I've been pushing on Claris to do is make it attainable at a more beginning intermediate level. So that is kind of work in progress. That being said, Jonathan came to me, and I don't remember this entirely, Jay, but you showed me this about a month and a half ago, and I was blown away. I said, man, that's always the risk you run. If you show me something, one of my staff shows me something that's amazing, like, hey, how do we show that on live? They already know it's coming. In fact, I have people who won't show me things in the company because they don't want me to show it on the live stream. Because every time I see something great, I want to bring it to you and show it to you because it's awesome. I like awesome stuff. I want to share awesome stuff. So Jay, can you show us what you're doing and why is it awesome?
All right, let's do this. Okay, and you should be seeing my screen there.
Affirmative.
Is that coming through all right? Okay, So here's what I've done. This is a copy of FM Starting Point Lite, okay? And what I've done, I'll show you the screen that I've developed in a second here, but this is the screen that you'll get by default, right? With this big blank open space here to allow you to put stuff, right?
Yeah, sometimes there's an animated GIF or animated movie that plays in there, but people delete it, which is cool. Right.
So you have this kind of empty space, and you can either leave it empty or you can have some useful charts there, right? So when we talk about charts, the charting engine in FileMaker does give you some basic helpful charts, okay? But there are some limitations to the charting engine in FileMaker, and so we have been able to, for a long time, to put charts in a web viewer in FileMaker, right, and interact with them, this and that. But a lot of times when we do charting in FileMaker, people that are beginner to intermediate, they're like, man, we're dealing with web code, we're dealing with probably JavaScript and this web viewer thing, and it just never gets put in because it's more advanced level stuff. We've gone outside of FileMaker now.
It's like someone saying, I want QuickBooks integration. And then they find out how hard it is, and then suddenly you never hear it again, right? It goes away. They never put it in.
Sure. So what we're doing today is showing you how to put in a chart and the steps to go through that and how AI can help you with this. So Let me close that down and show you. Here's kind of a placeholder thing. Let me show you this. So this is a copy of FM Starting Point. Here are some of the things you can do. And this charting library is called HighCharts. I'm going to show you that in a second, but that's what we're using right now. HighCharts is free to use. HighCharts as in it's not
Hi.
low. I don't know why they named it that.
It's not low charts, it's high charts. Okay.
Yeah. Um, so that's what we have. So if you see here on the first one, this little sales funnel would allow you to see, all right, how many leads do I have? And then how many leads have turned into an initial consult? How many of those have turned into a
Yeah.
contract being sent, and so forth. We understand this. Now, if I click on one of these sections, then it should take me, it should do something, right? It's going to call a script and take me to, do a certain thing. Okay. It'll take me and show me certain things. That's one of the limitations with the FileMaker charting engine.
Oh yeah.
Is that you can't click and do something.
There's no drill down on it
Right.
at all. Yeah.
Right. So with this web viewer, what you're doing is you're doing something called a callback. And that's in JavaScript. And usually, right when you say that word, it's like, well, okay, I'm done.
I've been waiting for people to go, oh, JavaScript. Right? Oh, okay. No.
What we're discussing today is going to show you how to make that doable and achievable, okay, without being a JavaScript expert or anything else. So I think it's pretty cool. So you can see this little sales funnel. You can see the a pie chart that you can click on and see how many of your invoices are in whatever category. You can see some of these things here where you have maybe like a particular category and it's a line chart. Now this thing over here, this is called a sparkline chart, and I hadn't seen it before. This, if I drop into layout mode, this is a web viewer, right? It's not a master detail. It's not a portal. This is showing you all of the products that we have. And then over here, this is a embedded chart. It's like a little mini chart inside of a chart.
It's like a trend line, a sales last 4 quarters trail, in a inline chart that shows a sales trend or trend. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And you can put many of these little mini charts inside them, right? And this is definitely something you cannot do with FileMaker, right? It's a limitation, and they're not ever going to build this in because they know you can do this with these other charting libraries, like I'm showing you. Okay.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. And then you can click on one of the products, and it will take you there, and so forth. The drill down feature. So how do we actually get there? Is the question. Let me show you this here. If I pull up another window, let's see. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So if I drop into layout mode, okay, I have these layouts here. I called it HighCharts funnel, HighChart sparkline, HighChart, etc. Right?
Okay.
And then I drop into browse mode. All of this code here, the scary looking code, okay, runs this.
Okay.
So if I were to take this HTML, okay, and I were to copy paste it, I could take that HTML and make a little web page here and just call it like test.html and open it up in Safari or Chrome or something, and it would pull this up. So basically whatever is over here, it's rendering over here. So in layout mode, this is my web viewer. The web viewer is just pointing to this field. Okay. HighCharts funnel HTML. And so whatever is in here is going to be reflected in the web viewer, right? It's that simple. Okay. And then a couple things you have to make sure that you have checked. Allow JavaScript to perform FileMaker scripts. Okay.
For some of you, that's a newer checkbox. It has not always been in there. I don't know when it was added. I think sometime in FileMaker 19. But yeah, that's a newer checkbox right there.
So that will get you every time, and you'll kind of pull your hair out, and then you're like, oh, it's a checkbox, right? Because it won't work without that. The other thing to be aware of, the other little gotcha, is here in Manage Security. Pull that up. Admin.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
in
right.
whatever,
Probably
yeah,
extended privilege, right? Is that what? Yeah,
right
yeah.
here. That's the one that you want checked too, because that will allow you to actually perform JavaScript in a web viewer. So make sure that's checked and the thing inside the web viewer is checked too. Those are two gotchas that I need to um, mention up front there. Okay.
Cool.
So cancel out of all this stuff um, and go into browse mode. Now, again, a lot of this stuff looks super scary, and I definitely could not have written this from scratch and just starting to type. There's no way. But even with all the documentation from this HighCharts library that I'm going to show you, it's still kind of difficult. It's at least the mid-level range to be able to come in here and fiddle with this stuff, okay, and to get it looking exactly how you want it to. So here's the trick. I'm going to pull up Chrome here and show this to you. Okay, so this is the library that I've been talking about. It's called HighCharts. So highcharts.com. And then if you come up here to demos, you can see all of the examples that they have. So
Okay.
I've only shown you like 4 of them, a funnel, whatever, all these other things. But there's bunches of these things, and they're really, really cool. You can do basically anything that you want to do. Here's examples of bar charts and stacked bar charts, Gantt charts, all this stuff. Okay, so if you click on one of them, you might be familiar with how this type of thing works. If you click on it, it says, all right, here's the chart, and then you can view the code. Okay, so this is all typical so far. You can steal the code from this library. You're not stealing it, they're giving it to you, right? So you can come up here and hit like, this button, and it's going to show you all of the code. And this is helpful if you know what you're looking at, right? But if you don't, and it's like, man, this is just like I'm looking at the Matrix or something, all this code on my screen, and I have no idea what I'm seeing, this
Hmm.
is not helpful. Okay. So what HighCharts has done, and I'm sure that other libraries are going to do the same thing. This is what they've done. They have included in resources HighCharts GPT. Okay. So if I come here, I pull this thing up. It says, "All right, how can I help you?" Let's say that we want to do, but let's pick this one. Okay. So this one is called a column comparison chart. Okay. All right, let me see here. Please create a column comparison chart, period. Use primary colors for the bars, period. Give me sample data as placeholder data, period. And render the whole thing for me, period. And
Render the
enter.
whole thing for me.
So now
Oh
it's creating the
my
thing.
God. Oh,
All right. So what you just saw is it spit out the code for me because I told it what to do. Now watch this. All these other things here, like here's this little hamburger menu where you can
mhm,
download something.
mhm,
Well, that's not going
mhm,
to work in FileMaker. So I say, please remove the hamburger menu from the upper left-hand corner,
mm. Right.
or
Upper.
right-hand corner,
Well,
right?
actually, what if, stop. What if you do it wrong? Is it gonna,
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
I don't know.
Left-hand corner.
It asked me for a beer.
Okay. Please give me the full HTML for the chart and render it. So it gives me the whole thing.
Hmm.
This thing I'm going to basically copy.
Okay, so
So
the
it's
chart's still in
still
there. So try again. Try again.
okay.
That's fine.
Give me the same thing, but remove the hamburger menu from the upper right-hand corner of the chart, period. Set the chart title to null, period.
Okay, you have to fix that. No, well.
Oh, it said Noel.
Yeah. Mary.
Awesome. What in the world did it just do?
Okay, you said Noel and you just screwed yourself. That was awesome. Noel. Noel.
Let's see. Undo that last change but remove the hamburger menu from the upper right-hand corner of the chart. Apologies for the confusion. Here you go. Boom, and then it's gone.
Oh.
Okay, so what is so cool about this is that I did not have to understand a line of this code yet, okay, to remove something from it or to change something around. Let's say I don't like the color yellow. Use purple instead for the yellow bars. Certainly, here you go. Boom. So, I mean, this is pretty neat now, right? This is something now that if you're familiar with charting at all and you're a developer that's watching this, you know that some things that if you're not totally familiar with this library, changing little things in charts takes sometimes like hours, and it's the smallest of things, you know, that you wouldn't have thought of. It's like, oh, you forgot a comma. Oh, you forgot a semicolon. Oh, you forgot this. And you're just beating your head against the wall, not understanding how to change the yellow bars to purple, right? This saves you so much time in doing so. Let me stop there. Go ahead.
Yeah, take a breath, take a drink. Margaret, do we have any questions?
Stu asked, how did you decide to use HighCharts versus some other charting library? I assume because HighCharts is the one that has the AI attached to it.
Yeah, currently, I mean, it's the only one that I know of that has this AI thing. Now, they also have a bunch of charts that some of the other libraries don't, right? But I am guessing that this may become a trend with not just charting libraries, but other JavaScript libraries out there are going to help you make these. Okay, now let me show you what to actually do with this from here. Okay, so I told it to give me the full HTML. I did that because otherwise it's just going to give me like the script part, and I don't want that. So I'm going to copy this whole piece of code, hide this, and then let's say I don't want this other chart here, and I'm going to use this bar chart. Okay, I come here to my stock chart thing, and then paste.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. Now, but you have to still connect it to something useful, right?
That's correct, right? But I mean, what you just saw there is a copy paste with placeholder data, and it's working.
Yeah. So all you have to do is do okay, let me just ask a really dumb question. If I was going to train someone to do this, I would say,
yeah,
do everything you've just done.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to go in and write a script that'll have like variables or global fields or something, I don't know, some sort of fields, and run a script that collects the data and then do substitutions into that text string, and then you're good. Is it that simple?
Yeah, let me show you on this one. So I've done this same exact thing with this sales funnel, and I've left it at that point
good.
For a reason, okay?
Oh, good. So you can walk us through this.
Yes. Okay. So in this sales funnel thing, okay, so I did all of those steps that I just showed you, and I got it to the point where I kind of liked how this looked, right? Before it was like a flat funnel, and I was like, hey, make it 3D. Okay, now make it with these colors. Now make it this size. And I fiddled with it enough where this is where it's at right now. Okay. And let me do one other thing, boss. Let me show you one other thing. Okay, in this, now add a callback script for when I click on a bar, period. When I click on a bar, it should give me a simple alert that gives me the category and the value of the bar I clicked on, period. Okay, see what this does. This is one of the hardest parts in charting libraries, is coding the part where you have a callback and something happens when you click a bar. So watch this. Boom. Category, value, et cetera, et cetera. So this thing right here where it says click, function, alert, this is the one part where you have to substitute this little line, alert, with perform FileMaker script, right? And let me show you where that's at. So here in this funnel chart, instead of where it said alert, I put perform FileMaker script with option. This is the name of my script, FM callback, and this is the value that it's giving me. Okay, so if I come here to scripts, FM callback, or whatever it's called, okay, I'm getting the parameter, right? This is the parameter that it's sending me, which is whatever value it has in there or the name of it, whatever I'm doing. But that's the one part you'd have to replace. It's the one thing that you actually have to like physically go in there and mess with the code, right? But I think that that's doable. So again, let me go back to this thing. In the code that it spit out for me, I told it, hey, give me a callback function, basically like a script that's going to run if I click on a bar. When I click on it, then do this thing, which is giving me a default alert, and I'm gonna replace that piece of code, okay? And that's how it works, okay? So with the sales funnel right now, you can see that I have my callback set up. It's actually working, but right now it's giving me placeholder data. It's saying I have 100 leads, 80 initial consults, etc. That's this right here.
Yeah.
So you scroll down until you find where data is. And now here's the challenge. I need to make this not placeholder data, but I need to make it dynamic. I need to fill it in with real live FileMaker data. So how to do that is the question. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's how you do it. We are going to step through this here. So first, I'm going to open up the window and show you actually what we're trying to do. So in invoices, or not invoices, contacts. In contacts, we have lead, initial consult, contract sent, and customer. Okay, so what we can do is this. I'm just going to develop on the fly here, okay? In preferences, I'll show you how I would do this. Other people can do this differently. So call it charts, something, sales, lead, status. Let's try that. And then I'll try to explain as I go, but I may have to just explain after I'm done, okay? Preferences, here we go. What I'm trying to do here is like look through contacts, look into contacts from preferences. Preferences is where the charts live. Okay, so here we go. Contacts, ID constant. Okay, and then I'm going to just put that there. It's not going to be ID constant. That's all right. Okay, this is going to be chart. The thing I just created. Chart, sale, yeah. And then this is going to be, is that going to be, there's 4 little fields in contacts. Where is that?
And so Jay's going to chase us real quick. Margaret, do we have questions? Jay, just keep going. We're going to check for questions.
Guess you could call another chart that relates for what you click.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're running a script essentially, right? So at the point they click on the chart, you're going to call a script that will do things, right? So,
okay, here we go. Oh, sales process. That's what it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think there's probably a dozen different ways of doing this data fill thing. Jay's doing it one way. I might do it a different way. Nick would probably most certainly do it a third way. But I think the essential piece was the part that we covered, which was the AI part of that, having it render that out. But yeah.
Right. I'm going to come here, new window. Here we go. So in invoices, you have these 4, where is it? I'm sorry, not invoices, contacts. You have these 4 checkboxes, right? So one of them is sales process lead, then sales process customer, contract sent, and consult. All of them are equal to 1 if they're checked. Okay. So in the relational diagram, what I've done is, and again, as Richard said, there's several ways of doing it. I've created 4 table occurrences, 2 preferences. 1, all of these are from contacts. And for each of them, I've connected ID constant, which is 1, to whatever checkbox that is, sales process consult. So if a contact has this flag set to 1, then it's going to be a match, right? Then it's going to be valid. And the same thing is true for lead, customer, contract sent. So that allows us to look through and see how many consults do we have, how many leads do we have, how many customers, and so forth. So that's how that relationship works. In the script over here, what I need to do, again, this data down here in the chart where it says lead 100, initial consult 80, I need to replace that stuff with the actual number that's coming from contacts. And so in this variable, what I'm doing, this looks like a bunch of weird stuff going on, but this is giving me that same thing down here. You see lead, and then it says and then this is the sum of all of the contacts, the sum of ID constant. So this means give me the total number of contacts that have the flag lead checked. The same thing is true for these other 3 down there. And this is just an example. Okay, so if I run this script now and I hit go, okay, then in my data viewer, you can see what happened. You can see that funnel, where is it? Funnel data. Is that there? Okay. Now the question is, how do I get that into the chart? And this is how you do it. Okay. So funnel data is the name of our variable. Okay. And if I come here to this web viewer, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say substitute.
Yeah, substitute function.
Okay. Whatever's in there. And then we're going to look for a placeholder. And I'll put that in there in a second. I'm going to.
Okay, I was about to say you have to have a target, right? You haven't.
Right.
I was waiting to see what magic was here. Because we already have the replace string is going to be that variable, right? $, funnel. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's funnel chart, right? Pretty sure. Guess we'll find out.
Was it funnel data or funnel chart?
Let's see. Data viewer, funnel data. Yeah, you're right. Funnel data.
I could have swore data was in there somewhere.
Okay. So what we're doing here to back up, right? In layout mode, we are going to substitute a placeholder in the text.
Which we
a
need
piece
to put
of
in
data
there.
that should never be there. So you need to have some like 3 stars or 3 ampersands or something. And then you're going to replace it with your global variable that you set. This is the real data that our script just set. Okay. So when we come down here, this is the stuff here, right there. So we go star, 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 star. Funnel. Do we say funnel data? Is that the placeholder?
It was an underscore, I thought, was it? Or no? Let me see.
Yep, there it is. It already replaced it. You see that?
Okay. Whoops.
So
what happened?
And so some stuff is kind of cut off, right? Because these are numbers that they weren't kind of expecting. And so you have to fiddle with it a little bit. But what you just saw is now this data is live. Okay. So I do the same thing over in the home screen. I copy paste this guy and go to my home screen. Okay. And then I put that same thing there. browse mode, boom.
I have a question. Can you tell the chat? So going backwards to fix this issue,
Mm-hmm.
can we go back to, I keep saying ChatGPT, but your AI, your charting AI, and say,
Yeah.
hey, can we make that a 4-digit or 5-digit number
Mm-hmm.
with leading zeros or something? I don't know. I hate
Yeah.
to throw an audible like on live stream to you because I have no idea what this is going to do. But
Okay. Yep. So
ideally, you go
let's
to
do
the
that.
AI and tell it to get it
Yep.
together, AI. It's not right.
Okay. So I'm going to give my AI the actual code, the actual like HTML. Okay. So watch this. I did something on my other machine. I copied the HTML basically. And then I come here and I'm going to come up to resources, HighCharts, and I say, I have HTML that I need your help modifying. Okay. Here is the HTML.
Okay.
Okay. And I hit.
Uh,
Okay. So now it's going to render it, make sure that it's actually going to work.
okay.
Boom. Some weird looking thing.
Okay.
So I don't know why it did what it did. Let's see.
It gave an example of how you can modify the chart. So I assume it did some random modifications, prove that you could. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. I want for you to make this chart with a width of 300 pixels by a height of 300 pixels, period. Have the data labels display with commas in between the numbers, period. Okay, so I'm asking it to change some things for me. Let's see if it does. It changed the entire chart. You see that?
Yeah.
So, sometimes you're going to have to just play with it, right? Keep it as a 3D funnel chart, period. And so it's going to take a little bit to start fiddling with it.
It's like talking to a junior engineer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay,
Yeah.
this chart is really narrow. I don't know what you want to say. It's like,
Right.
hey.
Yeah. So 300.
Is that the
Remove the place in the code where it says spacing, period. Remove that altogether, period. Let's see what it does there. All right. So
well, we're closer. We're closer. Now we're back to where we started, kind of, at least on the FileMaker side, right?
Right. So here we go. For the data labels, inside the parentheses, there are numbers, period. The numbers have spaces where there should be commas, period. Please give me the chart again with this modification. See, it always apologizes for some reason. It's kind of funny. See, and it's still messed up, right?
Well,
if I play with this, if I play with this long enough, though, yeah, I'll be able to get this label to display properly with an actual comma instead of this weird space there, right? But the whole takeaway from this thing is I didn't have to change the code at all, okay, to do some of these changes. And you'll need to sit here and fiddle with these charts and with ChatGPT, and sometimes it's a little frustrating, but it's going to be a lot faster than trying to figure it out on your own, go through the documentation and all this sort of thing. And I think that's the big takeaway here. You just saw us develop live, and we've never done some of these things before until right then. And so it does show you a path forward, I hope.
All right. Well, I think this is a huge improvement. Once again, it continues to be. People, couple main takeaways I would give everyone from this is that everyone's like, oh my God, the AI is going to take over my job. Okay, can I ask how many developers make their livings by creating charts in FileMaker for their customers? Most developers try to avoid creating charts for their customers in FileMaker because it's a giant pain. I don't know anyone whose livelihood would be threatened by this. This is an auxiliary support tool that allows you not to beat your head against the wall building a chart for your customer. Now, there might be 3 people on the planet whose jobs are negatively affected by that. And I would say 3, I mean literally 3 or 5. It's going to be probably count on 2 hands, right? That number of people. However, the other 50,000 FileMaker developers could use this to make the charts faster for their customer, right? The other thing, that's one takeaway. The second takeaway is that asking the right questions to the AI. Nick majored on this a lot, asking for the formatting a certain way. Margaret was there for that. Hopefully Margaret's paying attention and listening and looking at the camera and bobbing her head up and down. Yes. So the idea was that asking the right questions always continues to be the trick. Okay. And if you were dealing with a real human, say someone with not a ton of skill set, maybe someone who could do some charting, do some HTML, but they really don't understand a lot of things. This is like having a conversation with them, right? So it's going to take effort. It's not, AI does not mean zero effort. It just means that the effort, if you put X number of levels of effort in, you're going to get further. That's always the thing with File. People come out, there's a new version of FileMaker that automatically did something. People are like, oh my God, I'm going to go out of business. We don't need we don't need developers anymore. That's not reality. All it does is means that you put the same amount of effort in, you put the same amount of money, and your solution will go further and farther, right? That's all it means.
What I've found with working with ChatGPT with FileMaker on especially the web viewer end is you can do most of what I just showed you. You don't have to use, say, that HighCharts thing. ChatGPT knows about most JavaScript libraries. And so you could say, I need you to build me this particular chart in this particular library. But what I've noticed that, the same type of thing you saw me just playing with a little bit with that HighCharts GPT, same thing is true with ChatGPT. You can say, I want to use the D3 charting library to do such and such and such and such. Now give me a chart. Now it's not going to render the chart in ChatGPT. You have to take that HTML code and render it somewhere else. But you can do the same type of thing. Like I wanted to,
I have a question. How much is HighChart? Because as soon as you're saying
it's free.
Okay, well, I was thinking if HighChart's a lot of money, then we might have to do this a different way.
No.
So it's free. Why is it free? Is there like a paid level? Listen, stop. Anytime people say it's totally free and there's no snag, that means one of 2 things. One is that no one told you what the snag is, or 2, the company's going to go out of business, right? Because they're free. So how do they make money?
I'm not sure. Let's see. About, where is it?
Press,
resources,
demos.
Products, try for free, see pricing. So what is pricing? Select a license type. Annual license offers yearly subscription for the release of technical support. So internal use is all free. If you want to use it on a web application,
probably internal use. So internal use in your company is free. Okay. Yeah. And then it's if you're doing $160 per seat for HighChart stock per user license. Okay, that for $160 annually, because that means that you're charging $10,000. It must be like someone's using this and their app is $10,000 per user per year or something like that, because $160 is it's more expensive than FileMaker on an annual basis.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the internal use thing.
Click the question on that just for fun.
Yeah, what does this mean?
Solution or application used internal purposes and not available to your customers, public or private websites.
Subdomains.
Yeah. So basically,
I mean, that makes sense, right? With FileMaker.
But if you're building this and you're going to turn this, like if it was like Monkey Bread was going to roll this in there, then he'd have to write them
a product with it.
Then you have to pay them. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, it depends. Yeah. So anyway.
If you're using it for your own company's FileMaker, it sounds like this is the internal tier, and you would not have to pay for a license. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty cool. But I mean, getting back to the ChatGPT thing,
Yeah.
what
Sorry
what
about
I've
that.
been able to do is, chat with this thing and say, hey, like here's an example. I wanted to build a database that was going to better track my time, and so it would have like a counter um, going. So I could hit, all right, I'm going to be working on this project, hit start, and then it starts the counter, right? This clock, like visually, is ticking up, and counting the seconds, the minutes, the hours, and then I hit stop, and then it'll log it in FileMaker. All right, this project you've worked this amount of minutes, hours, etc. Right? And so I was chatting with ChatGPT. I was like, I need you to help me build an HTML page that does this. I want it to look like this with this clock function, build buttons that have start, stop, reset. And I mean, it was pretty complicated, right? And in the first go around, it spit something out that was actually workable, which is super impressive to me. Just like I showed you here, where you could copy paste that HTML, I was able to copy paste that into FileMaker, make some changes to it, and have it pretty well usable, just as is. And that to me is pretty neat.
Do you need an internet connection to run the charts once built?
I'm guessing so. With a lot of these charting libraries, you can take the code offline if you like copy the entire thing over. I almost never do that because there's never a time where I need it to be offline, because all of the solutions I use are going to be on a server somewhere usually. I mean, not a lot of them are going to be sitting on my desktop for just like personal use, maybe sometimes, but
Yeah. So that's the trick. We have to figure that out. Offline usage versus online use. This is pretty good. This is good. Yeah. Lots of AI conversations. Go ahead, Marks.
Did Jonathan get the chart library using the CDN, or did you download the JavaScript?
So right
I
here,
thought you just grabbed the HTML,
where you just put,
right?
he's talking about this up here, right? So in scripts, this is where you're calling it. Okay, so when it renders, it's going to go to
Yeah, it looks like it doesn't say
somewhere online,
CDN, but I'm guessing
right?
that's a forward to probably a CDN. So for those of you
Most
not
likely. Yeah.
understanding, content delivery network, all it is, it means that when you publish, just give me a moment to explain this to everyone. When you have a big library, like all our videos are available on the internet, we post them to one place on Amazon. Amazon, as people watch our videos, Amazon will copy those videos to other data centers that are closer to the user. So if someone watches our video in Australia, then the video initially streams from the United States to Australia, then a copy of it stays in Australia, and Amazon makes sure they're synced and that they're the same video. And that way, if other people in Australia press the button for the video, they get the Australian copy. They don't get the copy from the United States. That's a content delivery network. It's a network where you post it one place and it auto kind of populates to all the data centers around the planet, right? And so the question is whether it's on a content CD and content delivery network. Here it's automatic. Sometimes in a URL, you'll actually see in a URL CDN as part of the URL. Okay, do just understand that. But this is for maybe Centaur 272 or some other people who are maybe not like advanced supercode ninjas. That's what that's about. But ideally, so if you need internet access to make it work, that generally means it's downloading from some source somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that hopefully answer the question, because we use that ourselves, but it's hands off. It's automatic. Once we drop into a certain directory, then it becomes automatic. We pay Amazon for that, or yeah, Amazon for that.
Our
Wow. Well,
brains are dripping out of our ears from Larry. So
yeah. Larry is a good, a very successful, what I would call an intermediate power intermediate, and he's in that spot between intermediate and advanced developer. But I tend to sit there a lot of time myself as well. And this is a lot to absorb, but understand that fundamentally the AI part helps you concoct the the JavaScript and HTML on their website, right?
Mhm.
One, and you talk to it, and it keeps modifying it. When you think you're done with that conversation, you grab it, you move it over into FileMaker, into prefs, right?
Mhm.
Into the web viewer, yeah.
To web viewer, well, into the text field that drives the web viewer. Then you're going to write a script which will create a variable or something with the data in it, and it's going to shove it in there as part of a cache. It's running it with a script, caches it, it's in there. So that way it's not running as a calculation field, it's a calculation, it's in a script that you call when you want to run it. So that's that kind of the progression of learning. We talk about having a script that does the heavy lifting. So then it fires when you want it to fire, right? It doesn't fire every time you come to the home screen. I mean, you could do it that way, but then every time someone goes to the home screen, navigates, it's doing this processing. So maybe someone runs it on startup once, or maybe every time someone starts up their computer, it runs an update. I don't know. You have to come up with a way, but you don't run it every time automatically. That's back to this idea of doing things intelligently with FileMaker so that you don't have performance slowdowns, right? So, and it's a good one.
Yeah,
Right.
no, stream idea, getting data, images, files, etc. into web viewers and all the methods.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Nick Hunter. Then Thursday is Raspberry Pi.
Hi, yeah.
Raspberry Pi.
Pocket
Very
FileMaker
tasty.
servers, basically.
Raspberry Pi. I like Raspberry. Right next to Strawberry and Apple Pie. Love them both.
And then Friday is Christian Schmitz. So
with more free things that are in Monkey Bread.
yes.
Everyone say thanks to Jay. And then Monday, it's a weekend. We'll let you go. We'll catch everyone on Monday with Nick, where it'll be an abomination once again at 1 o'clock.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. You have a good one.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.